Elaine Campbell teaches us to be thankful for every breath. We first met Elaine Campbell back in February of 2012 as she was awaiting a double lung transplant. And just weeks later, on Good Friday, she got the call that the new lungs were ready and waiting. Please welcome Elaine for a progress report. Elaine. How are you feeling?
Great, you look amazing.
Well, you do too. This is what television's all about. We have to look amazing on TV. But how are you feeling?
I'm feeling so wonderful.
Really?
So good.
It has been enormous. You were a normal young adult hiking with your friends, and what happened?
I was normal, or so I thought, and I couldn't keep up with friends. And the thing is, I'd seen my family physician a couple times before saying, you know, I think there's something wrong. I thought it was my heart because my heart was beating faster, but it was to compensate for the lack of oxygen due to my lungs being in bad shape. So I was hiking, I went to get a chest x-ray and found out that my lungs had collapsed. And they said, it looks like you've been a chain smoker for 60 years. And I was like, but I'm 20. You know, it's impossible. And then I needed a double lung transplant because I had something called idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis.
And mysteriously just completely shut your lungs down. Tell us about what it felt like to go through, I'm actually going to get these replaced. I'm getting a transplant.
You know, I was really optimistic, but the reality of my situation was that I may not get an organ in time because of match and a blood type and all that. And
half of the Canadians on the list don't have an organ available to them.
Yeah, it's 1 out of 3 people die. Like, one person dies every 3 days because they don't receive the proper organ they need. And I lost amazing friends because they didn't get the lungs or the heart that they needed in time, which is really heartbreaking when we do have people, you know, inevitable exodus, we're going to die. Why not preserve those organs and let someone pay it forward and let someone live on?
How do you feel? This is Thanksgiving weekend. We wanted, you know, when we were talking about who's thankful, oh, we thought of Elaine right away. How do you feel about?
I'm grateful. I am so grateful for every day I have. And, you know, I take these antibiotics and I take something called anti-rejection medications. And it was easy for me to never forget when I was first going through it with taking these meds that were like way too big and like 18 in a row, you know, just like full because of the water I was drinking. And now I can just put them all in my hand and take them. And I think it hits me more the further away I get from the transplant, the more I'm able to do and the more grateful I really am. So I don't know if you heard about my whole little, like, I called my lungs gratitude. It's
wow, tell us about that.
You know, well, just because without having gone through this experience, I wouldn't have gained so much perspective, compassion, and just understanding of what life is all about and what we go through day to day on a daily basis and what other people deal with and how much we take for granted.
And you called these new lungs gratitude?
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, I kind of like, it's like gratitude, attitude with a little grr, you know, because to have a positive attitude helps a lot, with the things you're going through in life. And the grr is just like, you know, you just got to be tenacious and just got to keep going.
Yeah, and you have to sometimes make yourself be thankful too.
You really do, because it's easy. I mean, this is going to sound so terrible, but when I was going through the experience, I couldn't put my own shoes on, I couldn't get dressed, I needed help showering, all that jazz. So I was saying, man, I'm so grateful for the days that I could tie my shoes. And now I have these slip-ons.
Slip-ons, that's so bad.
Right?
Yeah.
And I still complain about having to tie shoes.
You were baptized this year. It's up on your blog. Tell me what this means and why you posted this.
Well, I'd never been baptized, like when I was baptized at birth and stuff, but I really wanted it to be a personal choice, something that I wanted to do. And it's insane because people are like, oh, you physically went through a transformation, you had a lung transplant. Well, I think in a lot of things that I went through, I was just under the grace of God, and He was really taking care of me, and the support I had was overwhelming. And the attitude I had facing this experience was one that was not of me. It was something that was stronger than I could handle because of things that had happened previously to me needing a double lung transplant, that I think any normal human being would not be able to cope with such a positive attitude. And just, I say that physically I've had a lung transplant, but I've also had a heart transplant in the sense that you know, my life has been redirected and I know exactly what I don't know exactly what my purpose is, but just to see how much God loves every one of us and he can take something broken and make it beautiful.
So you're just in on this new beginning, lungs of gratitude, spiritual life, physical life. You also have Give to Live. You are going to get all of us going about signing up for it. Say a closing word about that.
So Give to Live is actually a campaign to help transplant patients who have to relocate to Toronto or within the 2-hour radius of the hospital because it's tough times. So you lose your family support and stuff like that. Well, a lot of your friends as well. So it's just to help offset the costs. So we have a couple things that we're doing to raise funds for that. And really what we're trying to do is also just eliminate all questions having to do with organ and tissue donation. And you can register at beadonor.ca. And it's remarkable. One person can save 8 lives. And with the Give to Live campaign, we're doing a cross-Canada train trip, which I'm really excited to do. And we'll stop at great transplant centers and just talk about what we're doing, how it's a national campaign to raise funds for families and just for the multi-organ transplant program in general, and as well as a run. So I'm training for 5K for this October. And I think what I'll do is run the 2.5K, so next year I can train for the 10 and just like be super fast and beat everyone's time. But
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for taking what was a terribly frightening experience, and you brought us all into it over the last 2 years. We're thrilled to see you here. We're thrilled to hear how thankful you are.
Thank you.
And you've given us a great example.
Thank you.
Well, it's time then to get into the conversation. Elaine Campbell has reminded us of the value of something as simple as drawing a breath. And our question to you is, what do you take most for granted? Sheldon, what do you?
Good question, Lorna. For me, I would have to say my time. I'm a little guilty of that. I'm sure I'm not the only person who says, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. When I could have just...
Are you a procrastinator? No.
I would say no, not when I'm working with you, Lorna.
No,
definitely not. Right this moment, I get it done. We want you to get something done, and that is connecting with us. We want to hear from you with us via email. Connect with us, whether it's over Facebook or Twitter. We value your responses, so please get in touch with us.
All righty. Okay, well, we do look forward to hearing your answers. Coming up, we're going to be back to hear more from Joel Osteen on how to respond when it's not natural or easy to be thankful. Thank you.